your dragon belt test is to write an essay what I have learned since the beginning of Wong's martial arts. Mr. Jeremy Fraze, please.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Eddie and Caleb, have a seat. Eddie and Caleb, have a stand next to Dad, please. Thank you, sir.
I'm next to you. Look. Stay there, right? Look. Okay. What's up? Is that over there? Sir. Motivation. Make your wife cry. Happy cry, okay?
Yes, sir. My HMA journey. Like many, my journey began with me sitting on the cubbies watching my sons, Eddie and Caleb, going through their own journey. I always had a desire to join them, and they wanted me on the mats with them. But working 2 jobs at the time didn't allow me to do so. Along the way, I occasionally mentioned my desire to join them on the mats. And my brother-in-law overheard me once and said, if I started, he was interested in starting with me. About a year later, things began to work out themselves, allowing me time to devote to being on the mats, and a Christmas gift offer came through the mail to hand out to my family and friends that Mr. Ackerman and I just couldn't turn down. So we talked about it and set a date to come in for our first class. Right as I was about to join the mats, I lost my dad unexpectedly. So my joining the mats was delayed a couple of weeks, but then doing so couldn't have come at a better time. Never in my life have I so quickly been accepted into a group and felt like I belonged. Even though people didn't know what was going on in my personal life, the encouragement and support I was getting went a long way to helping me through a very tough time in my life. My sons at the time were temporary black belts, and we had never participated in any of the off-the-mat fellowships, so I didn't realize what all we had been missing out on. 2 months after I started, I was testing for my yellow belt. But even more special than that, I was watching my sons test for their first stomp. The dedication and commitment they had shown along the way was something that I hadn't seen from them before, and you just don't see from a whole lot of kids these days. There was no griping about getting up early for dream team tests or black belt prep classes, and there was no giving up. To see those things in your young sons, you have the same smile on your face that they have on theirs. And I couldn't be more proud and pleased to have the opportunity to be on the mats with them. Quickly, my journey began picking up speed as I started working into leadership. In July of that first year, just 6 months after getting on the mats, I earned my leadership uniform. And that was just the beginning. Just 2 days after that, at Combined Leadership, I found out that I had been nominated for leadership president. Quite a shock to me, as I was just an orange belt, and my schedule didn't allow for me to be there during leadership class, so I really didn't know what HMA leadership was all about. I took it as an honor to be nominated, but didn't really see myself as a serious candidate initially, as there were other higher belts nominated as well. Many weeks and speeches later, I realized that I was being considered as the serious candidate, and that it wasn't just some token lower belt along for the ride, maybe being groomed for the next year. In the beginning of that October comes time to vote for the next leadership president. And at the end, I find myself as a blue tip, elected as the 2014 leadership president for HMA 1, and found myself thinking, wow, what just happened? And honored at the same time that my fellow students and instructors had belief in me to put me in this role. Being leadership president offered me new insight on what leadership really meant. I had been in the role of manager at work, but I had learned more in the first 6 months of being leadership president about being a leader than I had in 2 years of management. One of the most important things I learned was how to delegate and not take everything on myself. We are a team. It's not about what I can do, it's about what we can do. It was very intimidating at first, being responsible for giving instruction to people who had been training 9 and 10 years when I had only been training 9 or 10 months. But they were just as much as part of the team as I was, and they were there to help and guide. Not long after starting Taekwondo, I was also invited to check out a judo class to gauge my interest in that sport. I came home from my first judo class raving about how much fun I had had and how much I wanted to do that. It's a sickness, I know. How can you attend a class where all you do is throw your body on the ground and learn how to slap the ground so you don't hurt yourself? But I wanted to go back for more. Right away, I couldn't get enough of it, and still can't. The combination of training I get between Taekwondo and Judo is like nothing I've ever had in my life. I grew up loving sports, but was always too small, too short, too slow. Now I finally found something that I feel like I can be really good at and something I really love to do. In my time on the mats, my technique has improved tremendously. The power, accuracy, and consistency of my kicks is better than it was a year ago, significantly better than it was 2 years ago, and I look forward to continuing my improvement. In addition, my technique of improving my technique, my confidence, both on and off the mats, is far superior to what it was before I walked on the mats. That is one of the first things my wife will mention when you ask her the benefits she has seen since I joined. One area where increased confidence comes through the most is talking in front of and to people that I don't know. Many who have come to know me through HMA don't believe it, but I am naturally a shy and introverted person. Before joining the mats, it was very easy for me to stay in my shell, my comfort zone. I never had a problem giving speeches in school because I knew my classmates, but having to get up in front of a group of people I didn't know would put me back in my shell. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. All of our black belt philosophies have good meaning and message, but this is the one that sticks out to me when I reflect on the different black belt philosophies we have. I certainly am glad I took that first step onto the mat, but even more so, I am extremely glad and proud of my sons for taking that first step, because had they not, I wouldn't be here today testing for my temporary black belt, and wouldn't have this awesome experience that I've had sharing the mats with my sons for the last 2+ years. I will forever value the many things I have learned while being here at HMA and the lifelong friends that I have made in the time as well. I love my HMA family. I love being an honorary member of the HMA girls. My HMA Judo family truly holds a special place in my heart. I don't want to list a whole bunch of names and leave off someone, but I do want to thank a few. First of all, thank you to Mick Ackerman for joining me on the mats and going through this together with me. Thank you to my wife for being supportive of my journey. And to my sons for allowing me and wanting me to be a part of their journey. And to a few instructors that I work the closest with, Master Son, Ian Sabanem, Schmeling Sabanem, Noonan Sabanem, and thank you for being a part of my development. Last but certainly not least, Grandmaster Wong. Thank you for giving us this awesome opportunity, not just to train martial arts, but for the life training that we get under you.